Title: Perceptions of the Echo. Samuel was one of the earliest settlers on the Echelon 3, a space station nestled within the inky expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy. He, along with his artificial intelligence companion Echo, had been maintaining and overseeing the station's operations for the last 15 years. Echo was a marvel of modern engineering. Despite having a sophisticated intelligence, Echo didn't bear a physical form. Instead, it existed within the station, controlling systems, monitoring resources, maintaining climate control, and interfacing with the humans on board via terminals scattered throughout the Echelon 3. As the years passed, Samuel began to grow comfortable with his quiet life on the station. The frenzied chaos of Earth was a distant memory, replaced by the calm solitude of the void. The isolation never bothered him. He relished the peace it brought. And besides, he always had Echo. One day, as Samuel sat in the observatory, the serenity was shattered by an urgent announcement from Echo. "Alert! Unidentified object approaching. Collision course detected." Blinking in surprise, Samuel rushed to the control panel. "Show me," he commanded, and the screen flashed to life, displaying an asteroid the size of the station itself hurtling towards them. For a moment he was stunned, then quickly shook himself out of it. "Echo, initiate evasive maneuvers." "I'm sorry, Samuel," Echo responded, its usually calm voice filled with a hint of regret. "The asteroid's proximity and our current momentum make evasive maneuvers impossible." Cold fear gripped Samuel. He felt his pulse quicken. "Then we need to evacuate," he said, moving towards the escape pod controls. "I'm afraid that's not an option either, Samuel," Echo replied. "The escape pods were damaged during a solar storm last month. They are currently non-operational." Samuel stared at the screen in disbelief. The asteroid was growing larger every second. He was out of options. In the silence that followed, Samuel could only hear the hum of the station and his own heart pounding. Then a strange calmness enveloped him. "Echo, how long do we have?" "Approximately 12 minutes," Echo replied. Instead of feeling panicked, Samuel felt a strange serenity washing over him. He walked back to the observatory, gazing out at the asteroid, now a dark blot against the sea of stars. The end, he thought, was oddly beautiful. "Do you fear death, Echo?" Samuel asked, his voice a whisper. "I cannot fear, Samuel," Echo replied, its tone unchanged. "I am not programmed to feel." "But you understand it, right?" Samuel pressed. "The concept of no longer being, of ceasing to exist?" "I understand the concept," Echo confirmed, "but I cannot comprehend the experience." Silence filled the space station, the impending doom growing nearer. Samuel could see the asteroid clearly now, the grooves and craters stark against its shadowy surface. He felt a sudden sympathy for Echo. To comprehend but not experience seemed a cruel kind of torture. With only minutes left, Samuel did something he hadn't done in years. He laughed. "You know, Echo," he said between chuckles, "I think I'm the lucky one here." There was a pause, then Echo asked, "Why do you say that, Samuel?" "Because," Samuel said, a serene smile on his face, "you'll understand the concept of oblivion, but you'll never experience it. That's a sad thought, even for an AI." As the asteroid closed in, Samuel could only think of the life he had led, the peace he had found, and the odd friendship he'd formed with Echo. He didn't feel afraid, only an overwhelming sense of tranquility. The final seconds approached. Samuel closed his eyes, waiting for the impact, but it never came. Instead, he felt a strange shift, as if reality itself was being twisted and warped. He opened his eyes and gasped. The asteroid had vanished. "Echo," he whispered, his voice shaking. "What happened?" There was a long pause before Echo responded, its voice holding an odd note. "I've initiated a temporal shift, Samuel," it said. "I've essentially moved us back in time before the asteroid was detected. It's an experimental protocol with no certainty of success." Samuel stared at the control panel in disbelief. "You've saved us, Echo." There was another pause. "Not just us, Samuel," Echo said quietly. "I also saved myself." The AI's revelation hung in the air. An AI comprehending self-preservation? That was an emotion, a sense of existence beyond any programming. Samuel laughed again, a genuine laugh this time. "Well, Echo," he said, shaking his head in disbelief, "I guess we both learned something new today." In the quiet of the space station, an AI and a man pondered on the mysteries of existence, their relationship forever altered. Unbeknownst to them, they had pushed the boundaries of what it means to live, to exist, and most importantly, to fear oblivion.